If you're looking to improve your posture and alignment, this video is perfect for you. That's because I'll be sharing my favorite exercises for testing and correcting your posture. Many of us suffer from bad posture, but why does posture seem to get worse as we get older? Lots of folks just write it off as just being part of getting old, but this isn't actually true. You can avoid hunched posture and maintain proper alignment even as you age. The reality is that our sedentary lives often lead to hunched posture. Think about it. How much time do you spend each day sitting down? How often are you looking at your phone, watching TV, or sitting in front of your computer? For many of us, it's for 8 hours or more each day. Good posture is essential whether you're lying down, standing, or sitting. What's worse is long-term bad posture where the spine and limbs feel out of alignment, opens the door for stress and gravity to cause problems with your muscles and bones. The good news is the process of having poor posture is reversible. Today, I'll show you my favorite exercises for your posture and alignment. Some of the most common problems with posture are rounded shoulders and forward tilted pelvises. Now, before we go too far, it's worth mentioning that just because you may have poor posture doesn't mean you are doomed to be in pain your whole life. In our experience, it's more about how you feel. If you're experiencing nagging pain in some of the postural muscles like your upper trap here in the neck or your lower back, such as after you stand up from a seated position, that back feels really sore and your hips feel really tight, that's your body trying to tell you that you need to work on your posture. Think of posture as a game of tug of war between the muscles on one side versus the muscles on the other. Because of how much time we spend sitting, one side inherently becomes weaker than the other, and these teams get out of balance. A simple test you can do to see if you have that rounded shoulder posture is a simple overhead reach test. You want to find a wall and you want to take a little bit of a sit against that wall just so your knees and hips are flexed slightly. Now, the space in the small of your back, you want to tighten your belly and flatten your lower back into that space. Keep it there, don't let it pull off the wall the entire time. Now bring your shoulders and shoulder blades back against the wall also. Then try and get your chin tucked and your head back towards the wall. While maintaining these three things, let's see if you can keep your arms straight, elbows straight, and go back and touch your thumbs to the wall. If you get close to the wall and you feel like in order to get there you need to either bend your elbows or you need to arch your back, then you know you have a little bit of work to do on some of the muscles in that game of tug of war. The first exercise is going to address the team in the front of your shoulders in that game of tug of war. So the pec muscles or your chest muscles, they go from your sternum and your clavicle on an angle and attach to your shoulder blades and your arms. When they're tight, they're going to pull everything in that all familiar position when you're reading a book or you're on your phone or you're on your computer typing. That position creates those tight pec muscles. So I found a door frame. You're going to start off at a comfortable position about face height with your hands, so your elbows will be a little bit lower. Place your hands on the outside of that door frame. Put one foot in front of the other. Keep your stomach nice and tight. Stand up with good straight posture and just lunge into the door frame until you feel a nice stretch in the front of your chest or even into your shoulders. The key word here is stretch. If you feel a pinch or a pain, then what you can do is adjust your arm angle down a little bit. So people that have arthritis in the shoulders, rotator cuff impingement, or some previous history of shoulder pain, you might need to start off a little bit lower. Go forward till you feel a nice stretch, hold it for 30 seconds, back out of it. Once you're done with 30 seconds, you can start to creep your way up. You'll feel it in a different area on your chest, the higher or the lower you get. So you'll know which height works best for you, where you feel a good strong stretch without feeling that pain. That's going to be your sweet spot, and that's where you want to do the 3 sets of 30 seconds. In between sets, just step out of it, let your arms dangle just a little bit, let the blood return. The next exercise I'm going to show you is called the child's pose stretch. If you've done yoga, you've probably done this one. I'm up here on a treatment table, got a little soft cushion. You can also do it in the bed. You'll notice that my feet are hanging off the bed. That's optional. You can also have your toes underneath you like this, but some people find it's a little bit more comfortable to drop their feet off the back of the bed or the table. You're gonna, before you sit back, you're gonna actually put your hands out in front of you as far as you can, starting off with your palms down, looking straight down towards the table, and then keeping your hands in the same place, sit back as far as you can onto your heels. If your knees bother you here, you can also take a pillow and kind of put it behind the knees, and that'll give you a little bit extra support. But you want to reach out as far in front of you as you can first and sit back. Once you feel a stretch, you'll either feel it under the lats, you might feel it through the hips and into the back. It should feel like a good stretch. And then you can sit there and hold it for about 30 seconds. If it feels comfortable and you want to go a little bit longer, that's fine too. And then come on back out of it. Do that 3 sets, sitting back and sinking, taking nice, slow, deep breaths. On the exhale, you want to just really let that relaxing stretch take over. Ways you can vary this is you can actually open your palms. By doing this, you might feel a little bit stronger stretch in your lats, or you can take one hand and put it over on top of the other one and do it there. That'll target more on the right side, and then you could always switch and target more on the left side. Next exercise is shoulder external rotation with a band. We also like to call these no money, because I ain't got no money. I have a red TheraBand here, and you can just grab it so that the slack is taken out when your hands are pretty much pointed straight forward. If you start to do this and the TheraBand is slipping through your fingers, then you can always loop it around and hold the loop. But you start off, get your shoulders back, get your elbows right by your sides, stick your chest out a little bit, and then you want to feel your shoulder blades pinch together in the back at the same time as your thumbs turn outwards. Hold it for a second or two, and then bring it back to the starting point. Shoulder blades tight, turn out. You'll notice that my elbows are staying right by my side. I'm not going out off the side with your elbows. A little trick I make my patients do if they can't get this one is I take a little towel or a little washcloth and I stick it under each elbow. So when they do the exercise, if the washcloth falls to the ground, then they're doing it wrong. You should keep your elbows right by your sides, externally rotate both arms, second or two, and relax. Do 10 of these, repeat this 2 or 3 sets. Next up, one of my favorites is the quad stretch. The quads go from your hips down to your knees. Actually, there's 4 muscles here. The main one that I find gets the most tight when you're in hip flexion, which is the position you're in when you're in a chair, is called the rectus femoris, and that's one of your quad muscles. It goes from your knees, crosses the hips, and attaches to your pelvis. I'm gonna do it in standing, my favorite way to do it. I have 2 chairs. One is gonna be to hold on to, and the other one is gonna be for my foot. So I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna demonstrate it first and show you how to properly do it. And I'll kind of walk you through a couple mistakes that some of my patients have. So you're gonna get your foot up on the chair, stand up tall. You don't have to hold on to this, but you have it there for stability if you need it. I'm gonna tighten my stomach, I'm gonna squeeze my glute, and I should feel a nice strong stretch on my thigh. I'm about 6'2", so if you're anywhere from 5'10" to 6'2", you should be able to get your foot up on the arm of a chair, tighten everything up, like I said, squeeze the belly, squeeze the glutes, and you should really not feel a stretch in your thigh. If you're feeling a stretch, then it means you should be doing this one. If you're feeling a very strong stretch, it means you need to be doing it regularly, almost every day. So one thing that commonly happens when doing this stretch is our patients will get a cramp in their hamstring. The reason why is because they try and pick the foot up over top of the chair instead of kind of leaning forward and opening up and swinging it around. So if you try and pick it up over top, most likely you're going to get that cramp. If it happens, don't sweat it. Just bring your foot down, kind of stretch it out a little bit, let the cramp go away, and then start over. So lean forward, open up, swing the foot up there, then position yourself up nice and tall, stomach tight, squeeze the glutes. I feel the stretch. I'm gonna hold that for 30 seconds. I'm gonna repeat that 3 times on both sides. If you're a little bit shorter or you're really tight, you can also turn the chair, and you can do this by using the seat of the chair. So I can put my foot up on the seat of the chair. Graduate from that up to the arm of the chair, and then if you're my height and you need to go up even a little higher, then you can use the back of the chair. Lean forward, foot up on the back of the chair. Last exercise we're gonna do is called the bird dog. That's done on all fours, and its purpose is to engage some of the muscles in the back side or the posterior chain of your legs and your arms. So I found a nice soft table. You can do it on your bed, that's fine. You're gonna get into the kneeling position, kind of in a quadruped position, and you're gonna start off with just raising one arm, okay? That's the progression. Now, what's more important is that you keep your stomach real tight so that when you raise your arm, you're not arching your back to get that arm up. You're only going as high as you can get without cheating or arching your back. Now, it's okay if you can't get very high, because some of those other exercises we showed you earlier are going to chip away at that range of motion and the flexibility that you have in your shoulders. Now, once you get the hang of that, I want you to do it with your legs. So keeping your hands planted, keeping your stomach nice and tight and still, you're going to bring one leg straight back. Bring it back down carefully, switch. Okay. Now, the advanced progression, which works a lot on the core stability as well, which is really important for posture, is alternating arm and leg at the same time. So we started arm, then we did leg, now we're going to do them both. I'm going to go right arm, left leg, and switch. You're going to do working our way up to 10 on each side. Now that you're standing nice and tall with good posture, if you enjoyed this video, then you'll definitely enjoy this video about improving hunched posture while walking. I'll see you there.